Hello lovely students and welcome back to English with Lucy. Today we are going to work on your pronunciation. I am going to help you improve your British English pronunciation. And by British English, I'm focusing on RP, which is my accent. I have some good news and I have some bad news. Let's start with the bad news. Pronunciation is really difficult. It's hard. Lots of students go straight into trying to achieve a perfect RP accent, and it's just not always achievable. I have some good news though. I actually have two pieces of good news. The first piece of good news is that improving your pronunciation isn't so difficult. You can make little tweaks very easily, and I can help you to do that, and I will help you in this video. We'll focus on individual words and individual sounds. My other piece of good news is that I have created a free ebook for you. It contains everything that we're going to cover in today's video. You can download this for free at the moment. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this up for. At some point, the ebook will disappear. I won't have it available for free anymore. If you'd like to download it, just click on the link in the description box. You enter your name and your email address, you sign up to my mailing list, and the ebook comes directly to your inbox. After that, you will automatically receive all of my weekly lesson PDFs, any ebooks I release in the future, alongside my news, my updates, and my course information. It's a free service and you can unsubscribe at any time. Right, let's get started with the pronunciation lesson. Hello and welcome back to English with Lucy. I've got a pronunciation video for you today and it's all about 10 words that you might be pronouncing incorrectly. So let's get started. Okay, so the first word is this one. How would you say it? It's not fruit. There are not two syllables there. We actually pronounce this word fruit. Fruit. So many students make the mistake of saying fruit or fruit or fruit. But no, it's just fruit, and fruit is my favorite food. The next word we have is this one. So many students actually pronounce this how they would pronounce it in their own language, probably the Italians and the Spanish more than anything. But we pronounce this not chaos, but chaos. We almost add a y sound, chaos. It was an absolute chaos. The same with the adjective form, it was chaotic. Okay, number 3, we have, now I remember learning to spell this word when I was at school and thinking, wow, that's a crazy spelling because it's so different to the pronunciation. Now I've heard all different pronunciations for this word. I've heard kuewe, I've heard QU, but really we just say Q. Q, one syllable. And everyone knows that British people love queuing. Q. To queue, there is a Q. It's the verb and the noun as well. Now on to number 4, and this one always makes me laugh when people say this because it is really difficult to say. It is this one. Now I hear people say crisps. I used to work in a cafe with a lot of foreign workers and they would always say, where are the crisps? And I'd be like, crisps? Are you talking about crepes? We say crisps. This sps sound is very difficult for some people to say, so you need to practice this in the mirror before you brush your teeth every night. Crisps. Okay, number 5 is this one. If you like cooking, then you should have seen this word before. And most people say recipes or receipts, but it should be recipe. So it's very irregular, this word. Normally when an E is on the end, we don't pronounce it, but in this case, we do. Recipe, 3 syllables. Okay, number 6, this one. Okay, so many people pronounce this incorrectly. They want to say every syllable, so they say comfortable, but really it's comfortable. Comfortable. So it's not comfortable, it's just comfortable. Okay, so we actually lose a syllable there. The same goes for number 7, which is Not vegetable, vegetable. Not vegetable, vegetable, vegetable. Similarly, we have number 8. Okay, very important word. If you don't know this word, then you're crazy because it's a big part of my life. I hear many people saying chocolate or chocolate, choco, but we say chocolate, chocolate. So it's just 2 syllables, and I understand it's quite hard for many people to pronounce, but if you want to speak English well, you've got to practice. So chocolate, chocolate. Okay, and my last 2 are days of the week. So number 9, this one, not one of my favourite days of the week, but it's very important to pronounce it correctly. I always hear Tuesday, Tuesday, when in reality it's Tuesday. Choose, like I want to choose what I'm having for breakfast this morning. Tuesday, not Tuesday, Tuesday. And then the last one, another day of the week, not Wednesday, Wednesday. Not Wednesday, Wednesday. So that's it for this pronunciation lesson. I really hope it helped you, and hopefully you can now pronounce these words more confidently. You will need to repeat and practice again and again and again, but that's part of learning a language, so get started now. Hello everyone, and welcome back to English with Lucy. How are you all today? I hope you're very well. So I just want to make a quick video responding to some of the comments on my recent pronunciation video, because I had a lot of people ask me how to pronounce other words that they find difficult. Disclaimer, my channel is dedicated to teaching British English. That's what I do, that's what this channel's for. I'm not saying that American pronunciation is wrong. Please everyone, just calm down. I'm not saying that this is the only way to pronounce things, but in British English, this is how we do it. Now the first one that was commented quite a few times is this one. Where am I looking? Is this one, which is jewelry. We say jewelry. Now, yes, you will hear some native people saying jewelry, jewelry, but in general, British people say jewelry, jewelry. Okay, the next one is this one. And, ooh, I kind of feel guilty pronouncing this one because it's not our word, it's the Italians. I live with Italians and they get very upset when I say this word wrong. So now we pronounce it pizza, pizza. What do you want for dinner? Pizza, pizza. I know it's not really meant to be pronounced like that. We here in Britain say pizza. So the third one is this one. It's my own name. Well, I do say it every video. I feel like you should know it. You pronounce my name Lucy. Lucy. But a lot of people call me Luce for short, and my mum actually calls me Lolly. But no one's allowed to call me Lolly apart from my mum. Yeah, Lucy. I often hear Lucy from the Spanish community and Lassie, Rusi as well from the Asian community. They struggle with their L's and R's. Really, I don't mind how you pronounce my name. I love you all the same. But if you want to pronounce it correctly, it's Lucy. The next one, broccoli. Now, broccoli. So it's not broccoli, broccoli. Emphasis on the first syllable. Then we've got the schwa, broccoli. The fifth one is this one, generally. Now, of course, you might hear people saying generally, generally speaking, but we normally say generally, generally.
Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Lucy. You read the title. Today I'm going to show you 10 fashion designer names that you, yes you, are pronouncing incorrectly. And I bet you've come here like, oh yeah, let's see what this British girl with missing fingernails is going to accuse me of. Well, you might surprise yourself because I surprised myself whilst doing the research for these videos. I'm by no means a fashion expert. I am, however, extremely interested in pronunciation, and I know a lot of you guys are as well, and you want to sound like you know what you're talking about. So a lot of you will be here because you want to improve your English speaking and pronunciation, and you want to sound more professional when talking about these brands. Now the first one is this one. Oh, what a gorgeous brand. I've always wanted one of their fancy belts. I've never been able to justify one though. This one, I used to pronounce it Hermes, but upon doing my research, I found out that it should be pronounced Hermes, 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 and that's because it's a French designer and the H is silent. The next one, this one, oh my God, I have heard so many variations for the pronunciation of this brand. I'll give you a clue. The founder of the brand was called Adolf Dassler. Adolf Dassler, and his nickname was Addy. So the brand is an infusion of his nickname and his surname, his nickname Addy, and his surname Das, Adidas. I sometimes hear Adidas and Adidas or Adidas, and but yeah, it should be Adidas. The next one, another French one that I'm likely to butcher. It is what I would originally call Balmain, but it should actually be pronounced Balmain, Balmain. So the Frenchies don't like pronouncing the N at the end of words. Balmain, Balmain. I think I need a French lesson. Then we have this one. Like many of you, I imagine, I looked at this and I thought low. I thought it was going to be called low, but it's not. It's a Spanish brand and that W is actually pronounced V. So it is Loewe, 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 Loewe. That's a sexy word. The next one, it isn't Moschino. It is not Moschino. It is actually pronounced Moschino, Moschino, which is because it's an Italian brand and anything with S-C-H-I is ski, ski, Moschino. There's something on my floor. It's Versace. Actually, it's not Versace. It's an Italian word, so it should be Versace. Versace. The next one, it's not Nike, it is Nike. Nike. The next one is less Thierry Mugler, and it's more Thierry Mugler. We also have, instead of Saint Laurent, Saint Laurent, Saint Laurent. Now the difficulty with this is the French R, the French R sound, which is a r from the back. I find it very difficult to produce. We also have one that is really, really commonly mispronounced in the UK. And the reason we know we mispronounce it is because Rachel worked there in Friends. It should be Ralph Lauren, Ralph Lauren, but we, for some reason, pronounce it Ralph Lauren. Another difficult one is Givenchy, Givenchy. Ooh, that one's a tongue twister. Now, the next one, it's not a fashion brand, but it is a luxury item, and this is what we would call in the UK Porsche, but it should actually be pronounced with 2 syllables. It should be Porsche. And I checked with my boyfriend, who's really into cars, and he said Porsche as well, when it should be Porsche. So yeah, really common mistake, but bear that one in mind. Welcome back to English with Lucy. Today I've got a pronunciation video for you. I'm going to teach you how to pronounce 10 commonly mispronounced girls' names. So I've got 10 of the most popular names in the UK that are commonly mispronounced. So if you have any of these names yourself, you're going to have to say it a million times on the phone, spell it out for people, correct people. Sometimes you might get so bored of it that you don't even bother correcting people anymore. So let me know if you have this name and how you deal with people mispronouncing it all the time. Now, some of these are mispronounced because there are various different ways of pronouncing them. So I will go through those, and if I miss any out, comment down below. Let's get started with the lesson. The first one is this one. So the official pronunciation of this name is Siobhan, but obviously you can name your baby whatever you want to name it. So if you want to call it Siobhan, that is absolutely fine. It's a lovely name as well. I think I actually had more Siobhans in my year at school than I did Siobhans. But yeah, you can call it what you want, but it's commonly mispronounced, so be careful. The next one is a gorgeous name. I absolutely love this name. It is this one. And the S is silent, and this causes some confusion, but it should be Isla, Isla. I think I just love any name with like the I sound in it. I think it's so beautiful, Isla. Now the next one is actually a combination of 2 names, and this is mispronounced purely because people misread it. So we've got Kristen and Kirsten. Kristen, Kirsten. But yes, a number of times I've emailed someone called Kristen and I've greeted them as Kirsten, and it gets a bit embarrassing. So yeah, be extra, extra careful over Kristen and Kirsten. Number 4, there is no right or wrong with this one. You can say Eva or you can say Ava. The best thing to do is just ask. Number 5, much like Eva or Ava, is Kyra or Kira. With this particular spelling, it could be either or. It could be either Kyra or Kira, but with other spellings, it can be a little bit more clear. The next one, another one where you really should just ask, is it Mia or is it Maya? Who knows? Ask the poor person. The next one is confusing purely because it has 3 vowels in a row. Oh my God. It should be pronounced Gaia, Gaia, but I'm pretty sure there will be someone in the world that calls it Gaia. Actually, on that line of thought, one of my school teachers was actually called Gay, which comes from the meaning happy. But yeah, a bit of a shame actually. It's not a name that I hear so frequently nowadays. Next one, anything containing Lee spelt like this. So it could be Lee on its own, or it could be Ashley. People who have this in their name frequently complain of being called Lay or Ashley, etc. Next, we have this one. Now, obviously, it depends on the parent. This one should actually be Kaya, like in Maya. But some people might mispronounce it by saying Kaya. And the last one is this one. Again, it depends on the parent. It could be Layla or it could be Lila. I personally prefer Lila because it's got that I sound in it, which I think is so beautiful. Welcome back to English with Lucy. Today I want to talk to you about commonly mispronounced baby names that are usually given to boys. So the first name that I'd like to talk about is actually a Hispanic name, and it is Joaquin. Joaquin, like the Joaquin Dev. So in Spanish it should be Joaquin, but speakers of English generally tend to pronounce it as Joaquin. Joaquin. So Joaquin Phoenix, for example. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Number 2, now some of you are going to laugh at this one because you will know how to pronounce it, but I honestly, for the majority of my childhood, thought that this was pronounced as Scene. Scene. So you know the actor Sean Bean? I thought he was Scene Bean. But yes, it should be pronounced Sean. The next one, now this just depends on the parents. It could be Stefan and it could be Stephen. It's up to them, so just ask with this one. Now the next one is a little bit confusing because it could be anything. So you are likely to mispronounce it, and that's why it's best just to ask the person how they pronounce their name. It could be Elias, it could be Elias, and it could be Elias. Are those just all the variations there? I guess you could say Elias as well. Just ask. The next one. Anything beginning with an X is difficult. This one is normally pronounced Xander. Xander. Next one we have is actually pronounced with an X, and that is Xavier. Xavier. But you could meet someone called Xavier as well. What about this one? Is it Noel, like Christmas? It could be. I have met somebody called Noel before, but she was female, and normally the male version of this name is Noel. Noel. Now this one is just the Irish version of Owen. Owen. And I remember, does anyone remember Owen Quigg? He was an X Factor participant in like 2000 and something, and I thought he was so handsome. But yeah, I remember reading his name and thinking, Johan, but no, Owen apparently. Now the next one, is it Louis or is it Lewis? You're going to have to ask the person because it all depends on what their parents decided to call them. Sorry guys, that one's a bit of a cop-out. The last one we have is Jaden. We know it now because of Jaden Smith, but a few years back people were pretty confused and we were hearing Jarden, Jadden, but no, apparently it should be Jaden. Welcome back to English with Lucy. Today I have another pronunciation video for you. I'm going to be going through all of the English place names that are really hard to pronounce, and I'm going to be letting you in on some secrets. Yes, I'm going to be giving you some rules, and if you take note and if you learn them, hopefully pronouncing English place names should be a lot easier. And to make it a little bit more fun and to allow you guys to laugh at yourselves, I've made it a quiz. So you can comment below with your score. I'm basically going to give you a little bit of time to guess the pronunciation before I tell you what it is. Let's see how many you get wrong. Oh, sorry, I should be more motivational. Let's see how many you get right. Now, I'm going to do it area by area, and I'd like to start with Southern England, simply because that's where I'm based, sort of. Number 1, how do you pronounce this beautiful city? It's pronounced Gloucester, Gloucester. Number 2, how do you pronounce this Oxfordshire town? If you do want to go, it has a great designer outlet. We love going there. It's Bicester, Bicester. And I can assure you, before that designer outlet was built, I was calling it Bicester. So you're not alone. Number 3, how do you pronounce this town that's just outside of London? It's Slough, Slough. Fun fact, I once had an iPhone stolen and it appeared in Slough. I never got it back. And number 4, the last one of this section, how do you pronounce this town? It's Reading, Reading. And Reading Festival was the first festival I ever went to. Potentially the last? No, I have been to one since. Yeah, festivals aren't for me, turns out. Someone jumped on my tent. Not great. Okay, let's move on to places in London. The first one. This has a tube stop in London and it's where I went to university. How do you pronounce it? It should be Marylebone, Marylebone, but it's now so widely mispronounced that who knows? I'm sure I'll have a couple of opinions on this video about how to pronounce Marylebone. Number 2, a little town in the borough of Hillingdon. How is this one pronounced? It should be Ruislip, Ruislip. Number 3, this is an area in central London. It again has its own tube station. How would you pronounce it? It should be pronounced Holborn, Holborn. The next one is a borough of London. It also has a tube station. I used to live here and I started off mispronouncing it. How would you pronounce this place? It should be Southwark, Southwark. The next one. This place has a football club, a very famous football team. How would you pronounce it? It should be Tottenham, Tottenham. Now, I used a glottal stop there. Okay, it should be pronounced Tottenham, Tottenham. But everyone I hear says Tottenham. Tottenham Hotspurs. Next, we have this place. Lovely place, supposedly. How would you pronounce it? It should be Chiswick. Chiswick with a Z sound. Don't ask me why. It's the way it is. Next, where my brother-in-law-to-be lives. How would you pronounce this place? It should be Greenwich. Greenwich. Okay, moving on to the Midlands. Number 1, there is a sauce named after this place. How would you pronounce it? It should be Worcester. Worcester. Just 2 syllables. The next one. This one's quite similar. How would you pronounce this city? It should be Leicester, Leicester. And the same goes for Leicester Square in London. Okay, moving on to this one. There is a fantastic university here that's always really good at sport. How would you pronounce it? It should be Loughborough, Loughborough. Again, only 2 syllables, but you might hear some people saying Loughborough, but it should be bra, bra. And the last one, how would you pronounce this city? It should be Derby, Derby. Okay, the first one, located in Yorkshire. How would you pronounce it? It should just be Bark, Bark. The next one, how would you pronounce this location? It should be pronounced Keighley, Keighley. And the last one, this Cumbrian town, how would you pronounce it? It should be Sedbergh, Sedbergh. Okay, let me know in the comments below how many you got right. And please don't worry if your score is low. The names are ridiculous. It's almost like a gatekeeper. Like if you can't say the places, we know you're not from here. Now, I'm going to share a couple of rules with you about suffixes of place names. In general, knowing these suffixes will mean you will automatically know how to pronounce a wide variety of place names. Okay, first we have bruh, bruh. For example, Loughborough, Loughborough. Then we have brie, brie. For example, Bybury, Bybury. Then we have ster, ster. For example, Bicester, Bicester. Then we have cum, cum. For example, Salcombe, Salcombe. Then we have like in Tottenham, Tottenham. Then we have un. This isn't a suffix, it's actually in the first syllable of a word. It's un as in London and Tunbridge. Then we have sh or sheer, sh or sheer. It depends. Bedfordshire, Bedfordshire. You can choose whichever you like. And the last one, we have muth, muth, as in Bournemouth. Right, that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share your scores and don't forget to contribute any other really difficult to pronounce place names. Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Lucy. I've got another pronunciation video for you today and it's one that's been highly requested. I made a video a couple of months ago about commonly mispronounced brand names. And people seem to really want commonly mispronounced car names. Now, I'm not a car expert. I only passed my driving test a year ago. But I take great interest in pronunciation and I've done my research and I'm here to help you guys out. Let's start with the Italian ones. The first one, this one, a lot of people call it Alfa Romeo because it sounds like Romeo and Juliet. But it's an Italian brand, so it should be Alfa Romeo. So it's not Alfa Romeo, it's Alfa Romeo or Alfa Romeo. The next one, not such a common brand, but I have heard it referred to as a Lancia, and it should be Lancia, Lancia. Now the next one, number 3, is a very expensive car brand, and we tend to pronounce it incorrectly quite frequently. A lot of people might say Lamborghini or Lamborghini. It should be Lamborghini, Lamborghini, so it's that bo sound. I don't think we have to worry too much about the rolled R's because not everybody can do that, but we should at least try bo, Lamborghini. The next one, is it Maserati? It should be Maserati. I think you'll be forgiven if you say Maserati. Okay, the next one, a German car name. A lot of people might say Audi, but if we're going to be like the Germans, we need to say Audi, Audi. The next one, another German car brand. This one I did mention in my brand video. In the UK, we always call this Porsche, but it should have a schwa at the end. It needs to be Porsche, Porsche. The next one, another German one. This one, Volkswagen. In Germany, they would say Volkswagen. The V makes a F sound and the W makes a V sound. Volkswagen. Volkswagen. Okay, the next one is possibly the most complicated one we have on this list today. It's a Swedish car brand. I don't even know what I would call this. I would just give it a go. Koenigsegg? Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg sounds beautiful. It should be Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg. Now the next one, we've got this one. A lot of people would call it Chevrolet. People get confused by that T on the end, but it's not pronounced. It is Chevrolet. Chevrolet. And the final one, and this is the one I'm going to struggle with most because it's got that French sound. It is this one. It often gets mispronounced Citroën, Citroën, or Citroën, but it should be pronounced Citroën, but you could just say Citroën, Citroën. Man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to master the French car brands, but maybe I'll just buy Italian ones. Welcome back to English with Lucy. Today I've got my biggest pronunciation video yet. It's been a long time in the making. This video is going to show you 100 words that are difficult to pronounce, the definitions of the words, and also how to pronounce them in British English. We're going along with the pronunciation advice from the Oxford Learners Dictionary, the link of which I will put in the description box. This video is going to be fabulous for your pronunciation, for your relaxation, because I feel like a lot of people come to my videos just to have someone talking in a soft voice in the background. But it's also going to be great for your listening, because if you know how to pronounce certain words, then you will be able to understand them when people say them to you. I'm also going to share the definition with you as well, so you'll be able to improve your vocabulary. So by the end of this video, you should be able to understand 100 words, use 100 advanced words in your vocabulary, and also pronounce 100 words perfectly. Right, let's get started with the video. 1. Albeit. Albeit, meaning although. 2. Almond. Almond. The flat, pale, sweet nut of the almond tree used in cooking and to make almond oil. 3. Anemone. Anemone. A small plant with red, white, blue or purple flowers that are shaped like cups and have dark centres. 4. Antarctic. Antarctic. Connected with the regions of the world surrounding the South Pole. 5. Archipelago. Archipelago. A group of islands and the sea surrounding them. 6. Arctic. Arctic. Related to or happening in the regions around the North Pole. 7. Asterisk. Asterisk. To mark something with the little star symbol. 8. Athlete. Athlete. A person who competes in sports. 9. Bouquet. Bouquet. A bunch of flowers arranged in an attractive way. Number 10. Brewery. Brewery. A factory where beer is made or a company that makes beer. Number 11. Buoy. Buoy. An object which floats on water to mark where is safe for boats to go. 12. Berry. bury. To hide something in the ground. 13. Cache. Cache. A part of a computer's memory that stores copies of data that is often needed whilst a program is running. 14. Candidate. Candidate. A person who is trying to be elected or is applying for a job. 15. Caramel. Caramel. Burnt sugar used for adding colour or flavour to food. 16. Chaos. Chaos. A state of complete confusion and lack of order. 17. Chauvinism. Chauvinism. An aggressive and unreasonable belief that your country is better than all others. 18. Clothes. Clothes. The things that you wear, such as trousers, shirts and shorts. 19. Cocoa. Cocoa. A dark brown powder made from the crushed seeds, cocoa beans, of a tropical tree. 20. Comfortable. Comfortable. Feeling relaxed in a pleasant way. 21. Coup. Coup. A sudden change of government that is illegal and often violent. 22. Debris. Debris. Pieces of material that are left somewhere and are not wanted. 23. Debut. Debut. The first public appearance of a performer or sports player. 24. Decrepit. Decrepit. Very old and not in good condition or health. 25. Defibrillator. Defibrillator. A piece of equipment used to control the movements of the heart muscles by giving the heart a controlled electric shock. 26. Dengue. Dengue. A disease caused by a virus carried by mosquitoes. 27. Deteriorate. Deteriorate. To become worse. 28. Dilate. Dilate. To become or to make something larger, wider or more open. 29. Elite. Elite. Of a group of people in a society, small in number but powerful and with a lot of influence because they're rich or intelligent, etc. 30. Epitome. Epitome. A perfect example of something. 31. Espresso. Espresso. A strong black coffee made by forcing steam or boiling water through ground coffee beans. 32. Etc. Etc. Used after a list to show that there are other things that you could have mentioned. 33. Faux pas. Faux pas. An action or remark that causes embarrassment because it's not socially correct. 34. February. February. The second month of the year between January and March. 35. Film. Film. A series of moving pictures. 36. Fiscal. Fiscal. Connected with government or public money, especially taxes. 37. Foliage. Foliage. The leaves of a tree or a plant. 38. Foyer. Foyer. A large open space inside the entrance of a theatre or hotel where people can meet or wait. 39. Genre. Genre. A particular type or style of film, art, music or literature that you recognise because of its special features. 40. GIF. GIF. The abbreviation for graphic interchange format. 41. Gauge. Gauge. An instrument for measuring the amount or level of something. 42. Heinous. Heinous. Morally very bad. 43. Heir. Heir. A person who has the legal right to receive someone's money, property or title when that person dies. 44. Herb, herb. A plant whose leaves, flowers or seeds are used to flavour food, in medicines or for their pleasant smell. 45. Hierarchy, hierarchy. A system, especially in a society or organisation, in which people are organised into different levels of importance from highest to lowest. 46. Hyperbole, hyperbole. A way of writing or speaking that makes something sound better, more exciting, more dangerous, etc. than it really is. 47. Infamous, infamous. Well known for being bad or evil. 48. Ingenuity, ingenuity. The ability to invent things or solve problems in clever new ways. 49. Interpret, interpret. To explain the meaning of something. 50. Itinerary, itinerary. A plan of a journey including the route and the places that you visit. 51. Jewellery, jewellery. Objects such as rings and necklaces that people wear as decoration. 52. Liable, liable. Legally responsible for paying the cost. 53. Library, library. A building in which books, CDs, newspapers, etc. are kept for people to read, study or borrow. 54. Lingerie, lingerie. Women's underwear. Note that it's very common to pronounce this as lingerie. 55. Mauve, mauve. A pale purple colour. 56. Medieval, medieval. Connected with the Middle Ages. 57. Meme, meme. An image, video, etc. that is quickly passed from one internet user to another, often with slight changes that make it humorous. 58. Miniature, miniature. Very small or much smaller than usual. 59. Mischievous, mischievous. Enjoying playing tricks or annoying people. 60. Monk, monk. A member of a religious group of men who live apart from each other in a monastery and who do not marry or have personal belongings. 61. Moot, moot. Unlikely to happen and therefore not worth considering. 62. Niche, niche. A comfortable or suitable job, role, way of life, etc. 63. Nuclear, nuclear. Using, producing or resulting from nuclear energy. 64. Onomatopoeia, onomatopoeia. The fact of words containing sounds similar to the noises they describe. 65. Ordinance, ordinance. An order or a rule made by a government or a person in a position of authority. 66. Paradigm, paradigm. A typical example or pattern of something. 67. Phenomenon, phenomenon. A fact or an event in nature or society, especially one that is not fully understood. 68. Picture, picture. A painting, a drawing, etc. that shows a person, scene or thing. 69. Pizza, pizza. An Italian dish consisting of a round, flat bread base with cheese, tomatoes, vegetables, meat, etc. on top. 70. Plumber, plumber. A person whose job it is to fix and repair things such as toilets and water pipes. 71. Prelude, prelude. A short piece of music, especially an introduction to a longer piece. 72. Prerogative, prerogative. A right or an advantage belonging to a particular person or group because of their importance or social position. 73. Prescription, prescription. An official piece of paper on which a doctor writes which medicine you should have and which enables you to get it from a chemist or drugstore. 74. Probably, probably. used to say that something is likely to happen or to be true. 75. Pronunciation. Pronunciation. The way in which a language or particular word or sound is pronounced. 76. Prostrate. Prostrate. Lying on the ground and facing downwards. 77. Pseudonym. Pseudonym. A name used by somebody, especially a writer, instead of their real name. 78. Quay. Quay. A platform in a harbour where boats come in to load. 79. Queue. Queue. A line of people, cars, etc. waiting for something or to do something. 80. Quinoa. Quinoa. A South American plant grown for its seeds. 81. Raspberry. Raspberry. A small dark red soft fruit grown on bushes. 82. Regime. Regime. A method or system of managing or organising something. 83. Rendezvous. Rendezvous. An arrangement to meet someone at a particular place and time. 84. Rural. Rural. Connected with or like the countryside. 85. Salmon. Salmon. A large fish with silver skin and pink flesh that is used for food. 86. Schedule. Schedule. A plan that lists all the work that you need to do and when you need to do each thing. 87. Silicon. Silicon. A chemical element which exists as a brown powder or a grey solid that is found in rocks and sand. 88. Sixth. Sixth. Ordinal number, number 6. Note, most people just say sixth. 89. Specific. Specific. Detailed and exact. 90. Specifiable. Specifiable. Something that can be stated, especially by giving an exact measurement, time, date, weight, etc. 91. Status. Status. The situation at a particular time during a process. 92. Subtle. Subtle. Not very noticeable or obvious. 93. Suite. Suite. A set of rooms, especially in a hotel. 94. Temperature. Temperature. The measurement in degrees of how cold or hot a place or thing is. 95. Ticklish. Ticklish. Sensitive to being tickled. 96. Triathlon. Triathlon. A sporting event in which people compete in 3 different sports, usually swimming, cycling and running. 97. Valet. Valet. A man who is employed for cleaning, pressing, laundering, etc. for patrons of a hotel. 98. Vehicle. Vehicle. A thing that is used for transporting people or goods from one place to another, such as a car or lorry. 99. Wintry. Wintry. Typical of winter or cold. 100. Yolk. Yolk. The round yellow part in the middle of an egg. Right, that is it for today's lesson. Don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media. I've got my Facebook, I've got my Instagram, my personal one, Lucy, my English page, English with Lucy. I've also got my website, englishwithlucy.co.uk, and on there I have got an awesome interactive pronunciation tool. So you can click on the phonemes and hear me say those phonemes and say words that contain those phonemes. It's awesome. Finally, you can check out my personal channel, Lucy Bella, where we vlog our lives here in the English countryside, and all of the vlogs are fully subtitled so you can use them for vocabulary practice and to improve your listening skills. I will see you soon for another lesson. Bye!